Today, we'll share with you what they just captured in the river no one was supposed to see. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. Giant dinosaur footprints. It's now a windswept island boasting pine martens, red deer, and puffins. But 170 million years ago, some very different beasts were leaving their mark on the Isle of Skye. Researchers have unearthed a new site of about 50 tracks, some as big as a car tire, from dinosaurs that roamed the island during the Middle Jurassic. This study, published in the Scottish Journal of Geology, builds on previous dinosaur finds on the island, not least a huge array of tracks discovered in the north of Skye in 2015 by the same team. The site showed hundreds of footprints, almost all from enormous, long-necked, plant-eating dinosaurs known as sauropods. But the newly discovered site at Rubha Nam Bratharian, or Brothers Point, reveals that these hefty beasts were sharing their spawn with another type of dinosaur, a man-eater. Dr. Stephen Broussat, a paleontologist and co-author of the study from the University of Edinburgh, said, "Anytime we find new dinosaurs, it's exciting, especially in Scotland, because the record is so limited, and also because these are Middle Jurassic dinosaurs, and there are very few dinosaur fossils of that age anywhere in the world." Shell of the oldest tortoise. Plucked from a pit of gray clay next to a rubbish dump in southern Poland, fossilized turtle shells resembling the battle-scarred shields of ancient warriors are the world's oldest and most complete. Dating back 215 million years, experts say they could provide invaluable clues in solving the riddle of the origin of this ancient reptile, venerated by cultures across the globe. Tomasz Sulej, a paleobiologist with the Polish Academy of Sciences, PAN, who made the discovery in a region known as the Polish Jurassic Highland, said late Triassic turtle fossils are extremely rare. There are around 8 spots on Earth where you might find them, and here in Poland we've unearthed the oldest and most extensive collection. Wait, before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated of our future videos. Now let's get back to our video. Caramel-colored mammoth tusk. Glancing into the 50-meter deep hole, the two tusk hunters smiled. Together, they heaved out a caramel-colored mammoth tusk from the soil, where it had been frozen for at least 10,000 years. Their dog, too, seemed to be interested in the find. Because it's been locked in the ice for that long, it still smelled of the meat. It still smelled of the animal, says Amos Chappell, who spent 3 weeks photographing mammoth tusk hunters at work in the Siberian region of Yakutia. The tusk hunters cleaned their find with dry grass and quickly wrapped it in cling film to keep it moist and preserve valuable weight that would push up its price when it came to selling it. Then the precious cargo, along with 2 other tusks, went on a winding 5-hour speedboat journey down a river in northeastern Siberia. The 65 kg relic was later sold for $34,000, 26,800 pounds, to a Chinese dealer waiting in the tusk hunters' village, earning them a total of around $100,000, 77,000 pounds, in just 8 days. Everything left behind, mammoth skulls and bones, was consumed by the elements. For decades, residents of this frozen land, where temperatures regularly dip below -30 degrees Celsius, would often stumble upon the remnants of woolly mammoths that died out 10,000 years ago. But as the ground thaws, Siberia is revealing its ancient treasure hoard faster than ever. First living giant shipworm. About 3 feet long and glistening black with a pink fleshy appendage, it looks like the entrails of an alien from a bad horror film. In fact, it is a giant shipworm. Discovered in the mud of a shallow lagoon in the Philippines, a living creature of the species has never been described before, even though its existence has been known for more than 200 years, thanks to fossils of the baseball bat-sized tubes that encase the creature. Dan Distel of Northeastern University's Marine Science Center and co-author of the study, published in the journals of PNAS, said, "Although people have known these animals exist, they didn't know the simplest things about them. It was a very mysterious organism." Distel points out that a description based on a museum specimen was made decades ago, but adds that the creature was not well preserved. He said, "We think among living biologists, anyway, our group is probably the only group that has ever seen living specimens." Despite being known as a shipworm, a nod to its relative's diet of submerged wood, the animal is actually a type of clam. It has a modified version of 2 clamshells at its head, while the body stretches out behind. Distel said, its body has been stretched out through evolution so that it no longer fits between the two shells. 2 cave lion cubs. Blasted from their permafrost graves by men hunting mammoth tusks, Sparta and Boris, 2 cave lion cubs who lived tens of thousands of years ago, are now cared for by 2 scientists in the city of Yakutsk in eastern Siberia. They reside in the cold storage room of a small building on a potholed back street of this hard-scrabble city, as part of a unique menagerie of extraordinary Ice Age relics: a baby mammoth, a woolly rhino, the skulls of ancient bison, and the still furry, still snarling head of a 32,000-year-old wolf. Animals whose remains have long since rotted away in milder climes have been preserved in the permafrost of Russia's north. But while the discoveries of recent years are a boon for scientists, they also highlight this remote region's vulnerability to global warming and to man's search here for many kinds of buried treasure. Boris and Sparta were unearthed deep in the interior of the Yakutia region, also called the Republic of Sakha, which is the biggest province on the planet. They were found in 2017 and 2018, just 15 meters apart, but scientists believe the male lived about 43,000 years ago and the female some 15,000 years later. Both cubs are thought to have been less than 2 months old when they died, probably in rock falls or cave collapses, which entombed them in permafrost that preserved them so well that experts managed to determine their sex, and expressed hopes that Sparta's body may even still contain traces of her mother's milk. They were discovered hundreds of kilometers northeast of Yakutsk, beside a tributary of the remote Indigarka River, which flows north of the Arctic Ocean, at a place where the bones of ancient bears, wolves, horses, reindeer, and even almost entirely intact 46,000-year-old lark have also been found. Ostrich eggs. Archaeologists discovered 8 ostrich eggs in Israel's Negev desert. The eggs were discovered buried alongside an ancient fire pit and are thought to be around 7,500 years old. Ostriches used to live in the region until they became extinct in the 19th century. Lauren Davis, the Israel Antiquities Authority (IAA's) excavation director, remarked that the discovery is significant and explains a lot about the nomadic inhabitants of the desert in ancient times. The eggs were discovered beside charred stones, stone and flint tools, and ceramic shards in a 200-square-meter encampment. Because the campground was immediately buried by sand and re-exposed by dune movement throughout time, the eggs are well preserved. Davis said, although the nomads did not build permanent structures at this site, the finds allow us to feel their presence in the desert. These campsites were quickly covered over by the dunes and were re-exposed with the sand movement over hundreds and thousands of years. This fact explains the exceptional preservation of the eggs, allowing us a glimpse into the lives of the nomads who roamed the desert in ancient times. According to Dr. Amir Gorzalsani of the IAA, ostrich eggs were used in meals, luxury products, and water canteens. In terms of nutritional value, 1 ostrich egg is similar to 25 conventional chicken eggs. So that brings us to the end of our video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to share your views in the comments section below. And until next time, take care and goodbye.